contraception even if they're not sexually active.
What was the first bit?
Women.
Mentally ill.
Forced, mentally ill women.
Contraception.
To
No
be fair,
babies.
really, you're horrible. You're horrible for even propping this.
Okay.
Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes.
More of that. Thank you. Are you ready?
Okay. Good afternoon and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Right, basically, this is what's going to happen. We, the government, are going to implement an initiative whereby mentally retarded women will have to take the contraceptive pill. Now, how's this going to happen? Okay, so mentally ill people who are in care because of their mental condition already take lots and lots of pills to alter their behaviour and to alter their psychological state. So all we're saying is that once a day we slip in the contraceptive pill. Now, you may ask, which women are going to be eligible for this? Well, anyone whose mental age is below the age of 16. That is below the age of consent in this country. So why can we do this? Okay, so first of all, I'm going to talk about the harms that we're going to...
Point of clarification, only under 16s is applied to.
Mental age of under 16. That's very different. Remember that.
Yeah, you're not in
Okay.
Okay.
First, I'm going to talk about the harms that this minimises towards the woman herself. Then I'm going to talk about the harms this minimises for those around the woman, and then I'm going to talk about the harms this minimises for the potential child that this is going to prevent. Okay, but first of all, I'm just going to say that the reason that we have a mandate to do this as the government, and the reason that this isn't really controversial in any way, is because we're constantly affecting, with chemicals, the psychological and physical liberty of these individuals. When we give them sedative pills and when we give them antidepressants, we're affecting their psychological and physical liberty. We think that is much more important than some right to have a child, okay? Now, first of all, the harms that this minimises towards the individual herself. Okay, so pregnancy for anyone, no matter what mental age, is a massive psychological and physical strain. So if we think that if a woman who's already having problems, like coping with life because she's got mental health problems, we think that if she has to go through this mental and psychological strain, this is going to have a massive effect on her. It's going to have an effect, it's probably going to be to the detriment of her mental health, which is already pretty bad, as we've explained. Okay, and also, we can't expect these people to bring up children. Either they're going to end up in the adoption agency, which has its own problems, which Jeff's going to talk about later on. But if the woman actually wants to bring up this child, then the psychological problems or the psychological challenges that will bring is just going to be massively to the detriment of her mental health, of her happiness, and her enjoyment of her life. Now, those around the individual. Now, carers of these individuals and their parents are already highly burdened with having to look after these individuals. Now, yeah, because then anyone else come off.
Mostly they have carers to protect them from having sex when they're under the mental age ability to do so.
If carers are constantly stopping them from having sex, then there would be no need for this. But we see that there definitely is, because we already have people of mentally bad capacities getting pregnant for various reasons. So, okay, now for those around them, the carers are already massively burdened with something they didn't ask for. Actually, they have to look after these individuals, and they have to put a lot of time and effort into this, and this has a massive strain on their enjoyment of their life. Now, when they have to watch this person go through pregnancy, the massive physical and psychological strain that we've talked about, or if she then gives birth to this child, having to bring up this child, or go through the loss and the guilt of having to put this child up for adoption because her psychological state willed that it had to happen, then we think that this is very bad for the loved ones, or those who love this individual, and those who are charged with making sure that she is happy and can lead a healthy lifestyle. Now finally, to the unborn child. Okay, so these people, or these children who, under these guys want to be born but we don't, they're either, they've got a dichotomy here, and they don't choose actually, but still. They're either going to be brought up by a mother who can't actually, who doesn't have the proper who doesn't have the proper reasoning capacities, who doesn't have the proper intellectual capacities to bring up a child properly. So they're going to end up with a really bad upbringing, and they're going to end up like maybe not get, or no, they're going to end up not getting a good education or being brought up badly, and all of the societal harms that brings about, again, which Jeff's going to talk about later. But secondly, if they end up in care, which is more than likely to happen given that this child has a mental age of like 14, then most of the people who go through the state adoption agencies, or who spend most of their life going from household to household or in care, end up not getting a proper education, not getting their welfare tended to, as most children do, and as children expect and have a right to expect. But they also have a massive likelihood of ending up in prison. You didn't bang for 4 minutes.
Yes, I did.
Oh, come on. Okay. So because this prevents massive harms to the individual who's going to be slipped this pill, because this prevents massive harms to those around them, and because it prevents massive harms to the unborn child, you must propose this brilliant motion. Thanks.